Trading is closed on the 24th of August, 2023. As always, we'll start with our disclaimer. We'll go over our calls and we'll make some predictions. Tomorrow's Friday. It's my trading plan for 25th of August, 2023. It's a plan. I can change it. Plans can be wrong. Trade at your own risk, please. Looked for the pattern today with the early high. This is it. Tomorrow should have the early low. Going to change the order around. Look at the MEJT signal first, then come back to that. We got a sell signal in the afternoon. That's already played out. So we have to rely on other forms of technical analysis to make tomorrow's call. This is a reminder of what we said. Tomorrow has the early low. The idea was we had resistance around this high, and if we went through it, we had the next resistance around 4,500, but if it stopped there, the rally could be over. Well, here's our chart. Here's our trend line, which coincides with the 50-day moving average. We hit the 50-day moving average on the nose. We came a little bit shy, maybe a point or so of that trend line. Maybe that's good enough, but I'd be a lot happier if that trend line got hit. I'm not going to quibble over a point or two, but at least it's possible to say that we had this big drop without hitting the target and it's still there. What's also significant is this drop came right to this trend line in a straight line. Now it's nowhere near how far down I thought we'd go, under 4,200, but when you drop in a straight line to a major trend line, either you gap under the line or the line wins. So if we don't gap under this line tomorrow, I think any drop through it isn't going to stick. Right now we dropped right to support, but not through it. If we keep dropping, you're going to have an ABC and C's around the 4180s, maybe 4160s. That could still happen if we keep dropping. That's one interpretation. It's not the only interpretation. This is the count we had. We had an ABC for blue A. If you count this as ABC, if that's blue B, we're down, and that count's working. But that's not the only way to count it. This could still be black A and black B, but if you look at the alternate count, you have an A, an ABC with perfect fibs, A, B, C, and then wave alternate red C and alternate wave red A are exactly equal. So it's possible to count this whole move down from the top as being complete, right at that trend line that we showed. Doesn't make it's the right count, but if we can't go further than this, and if we go up, which hasn't happened yet, you can count this as a complete pattern. Now the general idea we had by taking the Fibonacci target of that wave was that we top out around 5,087 cash. So what happens if today is a low and then we go to 5,087 cash? Then you go from 43.75.55 to 5,087, and you could count that as wave C. Is that beautiful or not? That could be A, B, C, and then up we go. You never know. It can all be killed tomorrow if we go down. But right now, If we don't go down, if we rally, you've got great fibs. Well, tomorrow's pattern has a really low. It could still gap up. Today's normally bullish pattern was negative instead. Normally this leads to lower prices the next day, regardless of how we close. But if we gap up and promptly overtake the high, that kills the pattern. Don't forget, any signal needs to be confirmed the next day. This was a bearish day, but if we don't go under today's close by 1 cent, it doesn't mean a thing. We had a straight line drop to a major trend line. Either we gap under that line or the line wins, meaning moves under it won't stick. Sentiment indicators are strongly bullish as the great unwashed pours a huge amount of money into Rydex's bear funds. Those figures came out today. I don't recall seeing such a huge change in sentiment. Everybody, all these retail customers, just piled into bear funds practically without precedent. Today's range was also the largest range of the move down from the top. Very often the biggest range occurs in the last day of the move. The wall into the close and the wave counter are compatible with the low here, but they certainly don't require it. Bears need to confirm today's drop by dropping under the low a day, and if we gap up smartly, the elements are there for a huge rally, which the sentiment indicators are saying should come soon enough in any event. Even if this isn't the low, with sentiment indicators like that, in terms of time and probably in terms of price, you shouldn't be too far away. Let's not forget, the main idea is this is a drop in a bull market heading to over 5,000. And in those, if that's the right idea, all the surprises should come on the upside. Even though I have lower targets, and even though this looks negative, sentiment and range and trend line all are compatible with this being a low. It doesn't mean it's the only place for a low. We could just open here tomorrow. I have nothing stopping it. But if that's a low, if we gap up smartly tomorrow and keep going, that could be it for this decline. All I can say is stranger things have happened, and when everybody throws in the towel and all the sellers are gone, that's when the big moves happen. So tomorrow's a pattern with the early low. It doesn't mean you won't gap up. Calling tops and bottoms is kind of risky business. We open down here, I'm going to take my eraser out and forget everything I said. But if we gap up and keep going up, we could have a huge rally. And that's today's call.